Mark Fields.
Well, good morning, everybody, and a big welcome to the thousands of news media, employees, dealers, and students joining us here at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. You know, we're just 11 days into the new year, and we're already busy making news. And as we gather here in Detroit today, we're kicking off the next transformation of Ford, advancing from being an auto company to an auto and a mobility company. And today, we'll share more about our progress, including something we've been working on to transform the automotive customer experience. And of course, we have a few exciting vehicles to show you as well. And to help kick it all off, our executive chairman and the visionary who inspires us to make people's lives better, Bill Ford.
Well, good morning, and for those of you from out of town, welcome to Detroit. You know, Mark, I'm excited to share with everybody our story of growth and also how we're going to be addressing the mobility issue that faces society all around the world.
That's right, Bill. And to mix it all up, we've invited somebody who knows Ford very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Seacrest.
Hello.
Morning, Ryan.
How you doing? Nice to see you.
Oh, yeah.
How are you, buddy? Nice to see you. Hello, everyone. So I literally am wearing the same thing I was wearing last night at the Golden Globe, so I apologize. Just there last night on the red carpet. So appropriately, I'll start with, who are you wearing, Bill? And great shoes, Mark. I've been working with Ford for 15 years, since the early days of our singing competition, American Idol. You guys have been partners with us, and we've extended that relationship beyond directly. And one of the things I love about Ford is its commitment to change. Another thing, its commitment to innovation. Those two things stand out to me. And Bill, let's just start out of the gate with mobility.
Well, first of all, Ryan, welcome, and thank you for the 15 years of partnership. It's been great. I remember the early days of American Idol, and boy, you've taken it a long way, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, mobility. So I've been talking about mobility for quite some time and actually been thinking about it for quite a bit longer. And all of a sudden, there's this great interest in mobility all around. I mean, you saw it at CES last week. Everybody was talking about mobility. And in some ways, it reminds me of the journey we were on the environment, Mark, where, you know, it was a big change for us. But there's a big difference between this journey and the environmental journey. Because on the environmental journey, it took 30 years to get alignment within the company and certainly within the industry. But on this one, there's total alignment really right from the beginning. Our entire management team is focused on creating a very different future for the Ford Motor Company, and it's very exciting.
Yep, sure is.
Mobility means a lot of different things to different people. What does mobility mean to Ford?
Well, look, if you saw the video, it really, there's a line, the whole line of the video was making people's lives better, and its fundamental core, that's what mobility is. And if you think of city traffic today all around the world, it's a mess. We have gridlock in the major cities all around the world, and if you believe the futurists, as we go from 7 billion people to 9 billion, it's just going to get more and more. So today, it's an inconvenience around the world. If we don't fix it, it will affect the economy, the environment, and the health and the safety of the people who live there. The great thing is we have an amazing opportunity to help solve these issues. And so we're not only embracing the change, we're really intent on leading it.
So I guess it was just a couple of days ago, we were all out at CES, and you made some big news at CES. I know you've been spending a lot of time, Mark, you and the team in California. We've had a chance to get together out there, Silicon Valley as well. Lots of changes underway. What else is going on? What's happening?
Well, you know, Ryan, people keep talking about how the auto industry is going to be disrupted by the tech companies. And our approach is we're going to disrupt ourselves. And our approach is pretty straightforward. We want to grow our core business and love that business, designing, developing, manufacturing, and marketing terrific cars, SUVs, trucks, and electrified vehicles. But we also see a huge opportunity in growing our business in the emerging mobility market. And Ford Smart Mobility is our plan to be a leader in connectivity and mobility, autonomous vehicles, the customer experience, and data and analytics.
So Bill, changing the way the world moves, I mean, it's a tall order, right? It's a big one. What is Ford's role in that?
Well, I'd put it a little differently. If not us, who? Because if you look at our heritage, my great-grandfather changed the way the world moved with the Model T in very fundamental ways. So we have the same opportunity now in a very different era with very different challenges in front of us. But to deliver that, we really are on the cusp of a series of revolutions which will enable this to happen. So the powertrain itself is being disrupted. The way people access vehicles is being disrupted. And of course, we have autonomous driving coming too. So the opportunities we have in front of us are very different than what my great-grandfather faced. But the notion of providing mobility to people around the world, that's not new to us. But what's clear is that no one company can do this by themselves. It's going to require partnerships across industries with big companies and some startups that the names we don't even know yet.
Mm-hmm. And being an auto and a mobility company is a massive business opportunity for us. Because if you think about it this way, the auto industry generates about $2.3 trillion a year in revenue. And today, our piece is roughly about 6% of that. At the same time, transportation services, which includes things like mass transit, taxis, ride sharing, that totals about $5.4 trillion a year. And it's going to grow over the next 15 years. Yet today at Ford, we get, as well as the rest of our competitors, get about literally none of the revenue that comes from transportation services. And that's the opportunity that we see in front of us, to grow our auto business and build on our strengths while becoming a serious player in mobility services. And that's exactly what we're doing. If you think about it, we're solidly profitable around the world and successful around the world. Explorer is the best-selling three-row SUV in the world. Mustang's the best-selling sports car. We're America's top seller of plug-in hybrids here in the U.S. And Ford, of course, is the world's best-selling truck. Now, moving to mobility, we're the leader in connectivity with Sync. We have the largest autonomous test fleet of any automaker, and we have one of the largest automotive research and development centers in Silicon Valley. So I'd step back and say we're actually approaching this transformation from a position of strength.
I mean, I think it's so fantastic. We talked a little bit earlier today about embracing change, the evolution, the pivots that are going on in this business, the relationship that'll be authentic throughout the course of the year with consumers. I mean, just as a fan of the brand, I'm excited about that. Another cool thing about being here, from what they tell me, is we get to see stuff, maybe some cars, some SUVs. So can we see some cool stuff?
Yeah, we got some cool stuff. Absolutely. We have a lot of cars, SUVs, and trucks and electrified vehicles that are coming this year. So how about let's start by talking trucks.
Let's talk leadership. Who else but the truck leader would have dared to take the best-selling truck in America for 38 years straight and totally reinvent it? With a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body, investing all that weight savings into even more capability for their pickups? None of the other guys. That's why it's now 39 years in a row. Ford isn't just America's truck leader, it's the world's truck leader. Every 19 seconds, someone is buying a Ford truck. And Transit has been the best-selling van in the UK for 50 years straight, and is now the best-selling commercial van in the US and China. Ranger is the truck sales leader in Europe and 7 other markets around the world. Starting to see a pattern here? Makes you wonder, what comes next?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ford Motor Company's President of the Americas, Joe Hinrichs.
All right, the F-150 Raptor. It looks great, and it drives even better. It is engineered and built for ultra-high performance off-road driving. We revolutionized the pickup market with the world's toughest, smartest, and most capable F-150. Now we're using the same advanced materials, including high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy and smart engineering to save up to 500 pounds on this truck and give it even more capability. It is the best Raptor ever, delivering an improved power-to-weight ratio with an all-new high-output EcoBoost engine, an all-new 10-speed transmission, and an all-new terrain management system that includes a new Baja driving mode, making F-150 Raptor even more powerful, efficient, and easy to drive off-road. It comes this fall, just ahead of our all-new Super Duty. Now, Ford is also playing to win in SUVs. Here's a little perspective.
Nearly 1 of every 3 vehicles sold in the U.S. today is an SUV. And during the next 4 years, SUVs are expected to grow to 40% of the market. That's dramatic growth, and it's happening around the world. That's good news if you're an SUV leader like Ford, with Explorer the most popular SUV in America for the past 25 years, Kuga having its best sales in Europe since it was introduced, Edge tripling sales in China, and EcoSport reaching the 1 million milestone in South America. And we're not stopping there. Ford's SUVs span every customer need in just about every market. In fact, Ford SUVs are growing in popularity, especially with millennials, thanks to new technology, modern design, and SUV functionality. And if that weren't enough, there are 4 more all-new Ford Motor Company SUVs coming to join the family in the next few years, as Ford sets its sights on strengthening SUV leadership even further. How's that for unstoppable?
Our big SUV news this year is the new Escape, which we recently revealed. It is new inside and out, with 2 new fuel-saving EcoBoost engines and tons of new technology. It is the first in the world with Sync Connect, linking the vehicle to your smartphone to help you find it in a crowded parking lot or even start the engine remotely. Other features include active park assist, lane keeping system, and an alert to detect fatigue driving. Now, we are delivering growth in cars, too. There are a few facts that might surprise you.
This is a story about up, as in going up, like Ford Fusion doubling its share of the midsize car segment since its introduction in 2007. And the other guys? Well, they've been going down. Toyota Camry and Honda Accord both lost 3 points of market share during this same period. Fusion is challenging Toyota and Honda on their turf in California, with a record retail share last year, while attracting new customers and delivering record retail share among millennials and Hispanics who love smart technology. Plus, Fusion continues offering choices Camry and Accord simply can't, including EcoBoost engines and a plug-in hybrid. What's up with that?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ford Executive Vice President, Product Development, Raj Nair.
Well, here it is. This is the new Fusion. It's the smartest, most technology-packed Fusion we've ever done, with an all-new interior, a new high-tech shift dial, and 20 driver assist technologies. Fusion's a family of vehicles, and it starts with the Fusion Sport, with an all-wheel drive, twin-turbocharged EcoBoost engine with 325 horsepower. That's more power, by the way, than the V6 engines in the Camry and the Accord, and it's even more than the BMW 340. Next, the Fusion Hybrid. It has an eco guide to provide drivers real-time coaching to get even better fuel economy, and new software provides an even more engaging driving experience. And improved electric motors make the Fusion Hybrid even more efficient. And then the Fusion Energy plug-in hybrid, which should eliminate range anxiety from our vocabulary. It's the #1 midsize plug-in hybrid in the US. It can drive extended distances using just electricity, and then on gas power when the battery runs low. In fact, customers can drive more than 500 miles on a tank. As you've heard, we're about more than great products. And Ford Smart Mobility directly relates to our transformation from an auto company to an auto and mobility company. Today, we have news on all 5 parts of Ford Smart Mobility, starting with connectivity. We're opening a new wearables lab in Dearborn, focused on integrating wearable technology and vehicles. And that involves monitoring biometric data from wearables, including blood pressure and heart rate, and activating vehicle technologies like lane keeping aid and automatic cruise control if the wearables detect that a driver is stressed or sleepy. Today, we're also announcing a new lease sharing pilot through Ford Credit that enables up to 6 customers to share 1 lease vehicle. The pilot begins next month in Austin, Texas. And digital tools let groups keep in touch, plan, and track vehicle use and payments, and as they share the cost of that single lease vehicle. Now, sometimes people don't drive all the miles they plan when they lease their vehicle. So in another financing pilot, select customers can receive credits for unused miles to put towards their next new vehicle. Now, we also have news on data and analytics. Working with IBM, we've created a new data platform to look at tiny pieces of data and identify mobility patterns and find efficiencies. Examples would be finding open parking spaces, travel alternatives to gridlock, finding all of that in an instant. Now, you've heard a lot in recent weeks about autonomous vehicles. For us, this isn't a new story. Ford has been testing fully autonomous vehicles for more than a decade. And this year, we're testing on California roads, in addition to Arizona and Michigan, including the all-new M-City, the simulated city at the University of Michigan. In fact, we're tripling our development fleet, giving us the auto industry's largest autonomous testing fleet. And today, we're announcing another major step, with Ford becoming the first automaker to test autonomous vehicles in the snow. Snow is one of the most extreme driving conditions, which is also true for an autonomous vehicle. Snow blocks sensors and obviously creates slippery conditions. So this testing will help us take fully autonomous vehicles to the ultimate level. That's Ford Smart Mobility. But there's much more to our news today.
Thank you very much, Raj. Appreciate it. Well done, my friend. The only man shorter than I am in Detroit. And comfortable on the stage. Appreciate that. Really impressive news today, and a lot more to get to. So I will bring up the expert to bring it all together. Once again, here's Mark.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, sir.
Well, you know, as we make this transformation to an auto and a mobility company, there's an additional part of our strategy that we have not yet talked about. And that's transforming the customer experience. And the opportunity here is huge. You know, just look at these facts. And for one of the most dramatic examples of why the customer experience matters, think about mobile phones. 9 years ago, Nokia had nearly 50% of the global mobile phone market, but their focus was only on the hardware. So how many of you today have a Nokia mobile phone? Well, then along came Apple. 20 years ago, Apple was on the brink of bankruptcy. And then Apple changed its game and its name and made the customer experience its top priority. Apple rocked the music world when it created a customer experience called iTunes, the App Store, and Apple Pay. So what does this all mean for Ford? Well, traditionally, we've dedicated most of our energy and our money to attracting new customers a year before they buy a new vehicle. And then we pretty much don't engage until their next purchase. And that's about to change. We've had a small group working secretly for the past 18 months, led by Stephen Odell and Elena Ford. And they've been working with customers and also studying other companies that have transformed their customer experience focus. You know, companies like Disney and their Magic Band, Rip Curl with wearables to actually recreate the surfing experience, and Nike with its digital ecosystem. They've also been working with anthropologists and sociologists and digital experts, studying what consumers want even before they express it. And today, we're ready to reveal the outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Ford Pass.
Imagine a world where it's easy to get where you want to go, where people have the freedom to live, work, and play wherever they want. Think of customer service no one else has imagined, with a personal mobility assistant available night or day to resolve all your mobility challenges, whether guiding you through traffic, finding parking, or helping you navigate your favorite city. Imagine being connected to your world with the touch of a button to reserve and pay for parking, share a car or a ride, receive free parking and rewards when you travel, or start your vehicle from miles away. Imagine a hub where you can visit in the world's busiest cities, a place where you can rethink mobility, virtually build your ideal vehicle, experience new innovations, join exclusive events, and a place to collaborate and share ideas. Imagine an appreciation program that values and rewards you with services, entertainment, and merchandise just for living life as we do. Imagine no more. Ford is delivering this vision for millions of people starting this year. Introducing Ford Pass.
Ford Pass reimagines the entire customer experience. And think of it as a platform of integrated digital, physical, and personal experiences with four main parts. A marketplace of mobility solutions. Ford Guides, who are always there to help. Appreciation, where members are rewarded for their loyalty. And Ford Hubs, where consumers can experience our latest innovations. Ford Pass launches in April, and everyone can be a member, whether you own a Ford or not, just by registering online. And like other platforms, Ford Pass will continuously grow and evolve. And today, I'm pleased to announce our first offerings. Starting with the marketplace, we're announcing that we're working with ParkWiz, Parkopedia, and FlightCar to help people find and pay for more easily parking and borrow and share vehicles when they travel. Simply put, you can share a vehicle or locate, reserve, and pay for parking in advance, and you eliminate the hassle and anxiety of wondering where to park. And for Ford members, with vehicles with Sphinx Connect, you can locate, lock, unlock, and remotely start your car through Ford Pass. Moving to Guides, these are real people who provide real solutions for mobility solutions 24/7, including reserving and paying for your parking ahead of time. And the guides are available free of charge, and their only job is to guide, serve, and solve, not to sell. Moving to appreciation, we're announcing today that we're partnering with McDonald's and 7-Eleven to provide Ford Pass members access to merchandise and unique experiences as rewards for things such as parking, interacting with a Ford guide, and paying for vehicle service at a dealership. And finally, the hubs. We're announcing today the opening of Ford hubs in New York, London, San Francisco, and Shanghai, with more to come. And inside a hub, you'll be able to explore Ford's latest innovations, learn about mobility solutions, and experience exclusive events. And if and when you're ready to buy, our dealers will be there for you. The first hub will be in New York in the Westfield World Trade Center later this year. And now from a customer standpoint, great experiences lead to long-term relationships. And from a business standpoint, it will drive greater loyalty, bring new consumers, and accelerate Ford in becoming a serious player in mobility services. Today is the start of the next transformation of Ford, becoming an auto and a mobility company, providing great products and great customer experiences. And we've only just begun. You know, this is a company that's been founded on making people's lives better. And the 600,000 Ford employees and dealer employees around the world are driven more than ever to build the next chapter in our legacy and change the way the world moves, just like Henry Ford did more than a century ago. So thank you for joining us. Please come down and take a look at our new products. Thanks a lot.
We've got Greg Migliore back on stage with us. Greg, big moves coming from Ford. What do you think we saw here?
Well, I think what they're doing is really making an effort to connect with today's consumer. You know, I counted 6 or 7 or 8 different news items out of this press conference. Only 2 of them were actually about cars and sheet metal. I mean, everything from, you know, the mobility initiatives to this Ford Hub thing. This is really interesting stuff. I liked Mark Fields, the CEO's comments about today is the start of a new day, and he's right.
This is something that Ford makes cars. They know cars. Do you feel that they have the ability to branch out into these? I mean, this is untapped markets. This is new territory for them. Like, is this something that they honestly can do? Because I'm curious, or is this just lip service? Is this just saying, yeah, we want to have fancy new technology, and in 5 years we're going to find out the hubs don't exist anymore?
Yeah, well, I think they have to. I think they have to be serious about it, and I think Ford right now is in a good place because they're profitable, and you know their car business is doing well. They were one of the early adopters of infotainment and sort of mapping technologies. I think this is just the next step.
Now, I mean, when it comes to their mobility, that's obviously the word that they said. I heard that over and over and over again. They're taking it beyond cars, just like you said.
Sure.
Now, with this whole Ford Pass, do you think that's something that's actually going to, like, catch on with everybody outside of Ford? You know, it's just like using Apple Pay. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm like, hey, can I use my Apple Pay? And they're like, oh, no, we don't even know what that is.
Right. I think the thing you got to remember about Ford is they sell a lot of cars. So there's a lot of Ford customers out there. Now, is this going to be an overnight thing? Absolutely not. But 3-4 years from now, I could definitely see this catching on.
Do you think why? I'm curious. I know it's the future. We're getting there, but why are autonomous cars so important? I mean, everybody's trying to do this immediately. And Ford's been, like they said, 10 years. They've been doing research and development. Everybody has that, but Chevrolet is focusing on that with Lyft. You know, now all of a sudden it's the big deal. Did something happen that are there new laws that we don't know about that are coming out soon? That why is it such a big push now, all of a sudden, right now? Or do they don't have anything else and they want to focus on something new?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think what's happening right now is the industry is recognizing that this is what's next. And like previous eras, the auto industry has been slow to change. This is not a sector of the marketplace that really embraces change.
Right.
And I think now executives are seeing this, and they're just jumping in with both feet. And I love the fact that Ford's testing out autonomous cars in the snow.
The snow, that's
big time right there.
That is big.
I could have used one this morning. It would have been great.
Yeah, I know. But that's what's interesting to me is because you look back at the years, and they are so slow to change with stuff. And just like our phones, my phone is obsolete next year.
Sure.
I'm not going to turn in my Ford next year. Are they going to be able to adapt that quickly as technology is? They say they can,
right?
But they're so big. Can they actually do that? I don't know. I'm slightly skeptical just because of it's a lot of futuristic thinking. It's a lot of wishful thinking. It is possible by all means, but will we be having this conversation in 5 years or will we not? I don't know.
I think it's an issue of survival is really what it is.
Well,
you know, for car companies to remain relevant, I think Ford, and not just Ford, this has got to be everybody.
Everybody.
You know, so it's interesting that, you know, we've seen how many press conferences of new cars today. They're the ones who are talking about mobility. And,
right.
you know, they did show a Raptor, which is kind of a big deal too, you know?
But are they, I wonder this, are they getting, do they feel Google, companies like that nipping at their heels? Do they realize, like, man, if we don't do this, somebody else is going to do it?
Yeah, I think they felt that like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like, okay, the response was maybe a little bit delayed, or at least not public. And now they're saying, okay, we do this, we have to adapt. And, you know, again, Ford's making a lot of money right now, so they're really able to sort of reinvest.
They can do that.
They can do that.
I'm a huge fan of this. I love this idea of the one lease for 6 different people.
Yeah, car sharing.
Car sharing. We've been talking about this, again, going back to the Chevy with the Lyft and whatnot, that we have this time that we don't use our cars. And now they are giving us a solution that is right here, right now. I will offer you a lease for you 6 people. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most innovative things I've heard today. I think that really is forward-looking, and I think they're saying, hey, we know different people at different parts of the company use their automobiles in different ways. This is the best way we can connect with urban dwellers.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I see it already picking up in New York. I've heard stories talking about it, and it's like, yeah, I can go over to a friend's house, run errands, and I might not get the next same car when I come back out.
Right.
But there's going to be a car parked around me somewhere.
Whereas with this is the difference in that it is your car.
It is your car,
It's
but
yours.
you share it with 3 other people.
You do share it, so be careful what you spill in our car when we're out driving. Yeah. Interesting. And I like this too. The idea that the Ford Pass is interesting. The idea of, you know, we all have a personal assistant in a way.
Sure.
You know, helping us out.
Everything. When I get lost in the cities, which happens quite often, and it doesn't have to be with a Ford car either, which sounds quite fantastic. That you can. Maybe it's an app. You know, what is it? What is it really? How is it actually going to work? I guess we'll find out in April.
I think, too, this is actually a lot of what they announced today was very forward-looking, but GM actually has been doing this with OnStar for quite a while.
That's the thing I'm always curious about, too, is how do you get excited about technology that's existed already, but it's new to this brand? Lane departure warning, things like that, drowsiness alerts.
Yes.
I mean, that's nothing new by any means. It's new for this company.
It's new, and I think what's cool is the way they're trying to use some of, like, you know, your heart rate, your blood pressure, things like
the wearables,
that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Wearables is like pretty much another one of the next big things in the auto industry. And I think it's good of them to embrace it and figure out ways to make it useful. This isn't just like PlayStation technology. This is something that can help you drive better.
It saves lives.
Right on.
Absolutely.